For more on the trade relationship between China and the United States, let's go to Zhou Mi in Beijing. He's a senior researcher at the Chinese Academy of International Trade and Economic Cooperation. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Well, first I'd like to get your reaction to China's Commerce Minister here in Washington, D.C., stopping to sit down with his U.S. counterpart ahead of that APEC trade meeting in Detroit. Is this an optimistic sign, the fact that there's dialogue happening between the two?
Yeah, it's a very important message that we can get from this meeting. I think that both China and the United States are very important economies in the world. We are not only doing business between us, while we have many cooperation with other countries. If there's no good message between us, and the world will suffering by the uncertain prospect about what will happen in the future. So it's very important because so many months we do not have opportunities for both sides to trying to explain what we are going to do, and what we are now doing is have some impacts on the bilateral relationship. So I think that they both will use these opportunities to explain what we are really want to do. Actually, there are many things that we can cooperate with each other to deal with, because that we have such a big market and enterprises are in different sectors, so they can try to find some points that we can cooperate.
And what about the timing and impact of the very recent arrival of China's new ambassador to the United States, who brings deep experience of this relationship?
Yeah, actually, that both sides are really trying to find some persons who can speak, without sending some wrong message. So as a new ambassador has mentioned that China and the United States, we are should be really good, important cooperation partners. And actually, we're still facing many challenges, and these challenges are not only coming from one side. So the world is under pressures, and many of these things cannot be finished by just one side. So in this regard, I think that we see some good phenomena on the bilateral cooperation after the COVID-19, and it's especially important when the world is under pressure for the sluggish recovery. And without any cooperation, that both sides will only benefit from a small and isolated market development.
So there seems to be a willingness from both sides to perhaps move this relationship forward. What do you hope to see come out of this APEC meeting in Detroit, Michigan?
Yes, yeah. APEC is a very important platform for innovation. I think that in the past we see many innovative ways or message proposed by the APEC forum. Actually, for the trade, it's kind of ways that people can benefit by getting what we want to have. I believe that it is not only for the bilateral platform for both sides of China and the United States, but actually we should try to develop the better trust to each other by all the APEC members, because there are so many protectionism, and that is definitely not good for the expectation of the market.
All right, Zhou Mi, thank you so much for joining us from Beijing. We really appreciate your insight.